Hi, this is Christy Combs, your practical partner, and I'm here with another teacher tip and more giveaways. So I'm sitting here in my cozy little calming corner today because I'm ready to sit back with a good book. I've got some awesome instructional books that I'd like to share with you today, do a little book talk about. You're welcome to come look at any of these books in my room to see if they're worth your time, worth purchasing, but I can tell you they're all fabulous. You can purchase them all through the ascd.org website with your fee replacement. So I wanted to share my top favorite ones this year so far with you. My first favorite is called Engage the Brain. It's by Allison Posey. This book talks about how you can trigger emotion, the power of emotion, and connected to learning. There's a lot of scientific research that's quoted in this book where they talk about how triggering emotion and making emotional connections during the learning process connects to the memory in a more powerful way and makes the learning last longer and become more meaningful. This book has thousands of explanations and examples that you can use in your classroom. But what I like the most about this book is at the end of every chapter, I don't know if you can see there, they have a summary and a recap that you can quickly read over. So when I first started reading this book, I cheated a little bit. I skipped to the end of every chapter and I read the recap and the summary to see if that chapter was something that I wanted to really read word for word or just kind of scan and get an idea for. But I will tell you, the majority of this book you want to read word for word. It's awesome, especially if you're kind of into neuroscience or connecting with the memory. Some of the things that like Leah McRae and Blake Harvard have talked about with our faculty. So you've really got to check out this book. The second book I want to recommend is called The Burnout Cure. It talks about how all teachers kind of go through teacher burnout. And I know this time of year, we're tired of our students are kind of tired of us, but it talks about how this is a natural thing and how to get out of that funk. My favorite quote from this book is that you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So it gives explanations as to what triggers teacher burnout, and it talks about ways of reconnecting, resetting your mind and your approach to your students, and rejuvenating your teaching. What I like the most about this book is in each chapter, I don't know if you can see over here, they have life assignments. And the cool thing about these life assignments is you can do them just yourself personally to rejuvenate your approach to your classroom, but they're also ones that you can do with your students, and they talk about how you can do them with your students. It totally changes the culture, especially if you're dealing with student burnout, which also happens. So this is a great feel-good book, especially one that we need this time of year, so I highly recommend it. The next book I want to talk about, you can totally tell is my favorite from all the tabs that I've put on it. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's called What We Say and How We Say It Matters, and it's by Mike Anderson. I've always been a big proponent in precision of language that we use with students. You know, our intent is not always what is taken with students. And so this book talks about practical ways that you can simply change your language when communicating individually with students and with your class. This is perfect if you have kind of a difficult class that you're dealing with or a student that you're having a hard time connecting to. My favorite thing about this book, and this is the majority of what I have tabbed, is they have tons of these charts, I don't know if you can see them, that say, instead of try this. So it gives you things that we commonly say all the time to our students, and a way that you can reword it, get the same message across, but it changes the intent that the student is hearing. For example, we've all said to a student, you owe me this assignment. So this book suggests, instead of saying you owe me this assignment, to say, can you please complete this assignment so it'll pull up your grade. Same message is conveyed. They have an assignment that they need to complete, but the way that they take it is totally different. So I highly recommend this book. It's awesome for social emotional learning. If you're into SEL right now, it's awesome for trauma informed classroom. Check this book out. I love it. The last book that I want to talk about today is called The Powerful Task Design. This one's by John Antonetti. This book was part of a secondary principles book study that we did last year. And what I really like about this book, it kind of goes with what we've been talking about in embedded PD with assessments. This book talks about the difference between an assignment and a task, and having anything that you ask students to do, even if it's formative, if it's not even for a grade, that it be meaningful, that it be at the highest DOK that it can be for the purpose of the task, pushing them past what they call the rigor divide, and making the task meaningful, and also lining up with your summative assessments, because some of us, I'm very guilty of this, have had very easy formative assessments that you do in class, and then the higher DOK, the more difficult tasks, are what you put on your summative assessment, and then your students don't do as well on the summative. So the point is to try to gradually move them along that line and push them up to those higher DOKs in every task that we give them before you even get to the summative. So this is the book I'm giving away today. It's an awesome book, and our winner is Pam Paquette. Pam Paquette, you're the winner of the Powerful Task Design. I'll come bring this by your room. As for the other books, you're welcome to come to my Cozy Common Corner and check them out and read through them, but I highly recommend all of them. So this is Christy Combs, your practical partner. I'll be back with more teacher tips and giveaways soon.